What if I told you I had enough speedy points to buy myself a Nintendo gift card for the eShop?
Well, how many?
$20 worth.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Might fuck around and cop something.
Yeah, man. Get something. Get something on the low. Are you... Is Splatoon still active?
I believe so. I have no interest in getting Splatoon, though.
Why not?
Just doesn't seem like it's for me. I'm more interested in, like, Stardew Valley. Just a nice, calm farming game, you know?
Farming?
Yeah.
There's definitely a market for that. I'm just not in it. You know?
I mean, that's fair. It's not for everyone. I mean, to be fair, you don't know until you try it, I guess, right?
I did farm Animal Farm for a little bit. Or was it Farm Animal? What the fuck is the name of the game?
Animal Kingdom?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that?
Yeah. Animal Farm, something like that. No, I think that was a book. I think
Stardew Valley's like in the pixelated, like 16-bit style and all that good stuff. And, you know, you wait for your crops and shit like that. And there's only so much you can do in a day and stuff. And I have some buddies who play it, and they're just like, yeah, man, you get hooked in real quick. Does a good job of that.
I'm sure it's one of those cathartic things, I'm sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Just a nice calm game, you know, unlike Rainbow Six.
Yeah, definitely. Turtley, yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, so, yeah, we were cleaning the house today, and football season's here, so I'm, like, locked in. Fantasy.
And you're mad? Are you mad yet?
I was mad.
Did you see the atrocity this week?
I was mad Thursday.
Yeah.
I was mad on Thursday, yeah. I'm getting over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're 4 days in, and you're getting over it, and that's good.
Yeah, I'm getting over it a little bit.
Usually takes a little longer.
Yeah, but right now I'm like, because if it was like fresh, then I would be upset. But I'm just accepting my fate at this point, you know, because not much I can do about it now. But my fantasy team is doing well.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we got that rolling. But yeah, so that's that. Other than that, Ghibli, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Second City Kids Podcast, episode number 132.
132.
Oh yeah, we are back on a perfectly beautiful day on the south side of Chicago, Illinois.
I dig it.
This is like my aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you spell that?
AESTHICS aesthetic?
Yeah, aesthetics.
Sweet. All right. So yeah, man, we're back. So Gabe, how was your week, buddy?
Nothing to complain about, nothing to talk about. We here.
We here?
We recording. Oh man, I had a pretty big Studio One fuck up the other day.
What happened?
I told you. I mismanaged the start and end marker.
Okay.
And so when I exported it, I had a negative time, so it would lop off 5 minutes. Like the end marker came before the start one did.
Okay.
Is what happened. So it lopped off 5 minutes. And I was trying to figure out, man, what the fuck is going on? And then I tried to, move the start and the end marker, and it's a little harder than it fucking seems if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
But the issue was I had already published the episode with the 5 minutes lopped off.
Okay.
I was like, shit, take it down.
For sure. Did you just replace the file, or did you?
Yeah, you can replace the file,
okay.
But it takes some time for all the podcatchers to update.
Yeah. It takes a minute, for sure. What did you guys cover this week?
We covered, we're doing our Gears of War stuff. So first episode we covered pre-Judgment, and then we covered all the way up to 1, and then this last week we covered Gears of War 2 and 3 in anticipation of 5 that came out 3 days ago.
Yeah, so it did just come out then, right?
Yeah, we were, planning it that way.
Yeah, I knew it was on the horizon. I just didn't know if it was just like now or a couple more days. But hey, man, have you touched it yet or no?
I have not touched it yet.
You have not?
I got too much on my agenda right now, but we'll get around to it.
Okay, for sure. Alrighty. All right, cool, excellent. So let's go ahead and get started into this agenda. All right.
So did you see this at all this week?
I did.
The Chris Jericho debacle.
I did. So AEW is a new wrestling federation. Is founded and funded by like the Khans, who are the guys who own like the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? And essentially, what this is like a new upstart federation. It's got it's going to be on TNT in a couple of weeks. So basically, what happened was, I guess he just got crowned their first champion, so it's the first person to hold this belt.
This $30,000 belt, by the way.
These belts aren't cheap by any means. And I don't know exactly what.
So the debacle is that he had it in a bag, and I believe he left it in the car. And so the issue was when he went to go eat and he went to go grab the bag, it wasn't there any longer. And so how it resolved is that a couple found the bag, and they're like, oh, it's clearly a replica, so they put it on Craigslist, lost and found. And then Chris Jericho was like, oh shit, that's my belt, and he went and picked it up, and he's like, I lost it and I found it within 24 hours. You get him, Chris Jericho.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was a little bit of a debacle. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Because like you said, he's literally the first person to have it.
Well, because when you see, the title belt was stolen, you're like, damn, already, man? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that fight, there wouldn't be two massive fights back to back so close like that.
Yeah.
And then you read it, you're like, oh shit, it was like actually stolen.
Like he physically lost it.
Like, yeah, but I'm glad he got it back, and I'm glad that couple didn't just flip it. They thought it was a replica. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're not in the know, I guess there's like no way of like knowing, but like the belt's like new, like they won't have replicas out yet.
I'm curious to see if we got two belts in here, like a real one and a really high quality replica. I wonder if we could tell the difference.
You could tell. You could definitely tell.
Yeah. Which belt did you hold?
I've seen in person a replica of the big gold Ric Flair's belt.
Okay.
I've seen that, and I've also seen it in person, like from a fairly decent distance away. You could tell just from looking at it. You can tell. Maybe the tooling's not as intricate or whatever it may be. There are definitely differences though, and especially when you knock on the plate, you could tell.
I'm sure they weigh differently as well.
Yeah, they do. So yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Well, shout out to Chris Jericho for finding it, I guess.
Yeah, losing it and finding it.
It's kind of funny. It's like we're seeing all these like classic kind of wrestlers get older with age. And this is like a prime example of like, that era getting old. Like, oh shit, where did I put the belt?
Fuck, where did that belt go? Yeah, man, he's you'd be surprised that he's still around and kicking and doing.
Because he's approaching 50 now, right?
Yeah,
he's like mid 40s. Gotta be.
He's got to be, yeah. But yeah, he's still kicking around and still doing good things, I guess. He's still doing his band too. I don't know how familiar you are with Fozzy, but he's still doing that, and he's doing stuff. So yeah, I thought I had a good laugh over that over this weekend as well. So that's good. That's good stuff. So we have an agenda. So let's go ahead and get started in movies and TVs and books and all that good stuff. All right. So a trailer dropped for a how popular would you say this franchise is? I would say pretty popular.
Bad Boys?
Yeah.
It was massive in the 90s, and I feel like it's gone kind of quiet. But yeah, it's still pretty big.
I would say one of...
I feel like your dad would want to see this movie.
No, I want to see it. But I'm saying I would feel like maybe one of Michael Bay's more popular, well-received projects.
Yeah.
Bad Boys for Life. Coming out. Trailer dropped. Looks like a lot of fun. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are back at it again for another crazy adventure of nonsense. Did you ever see that scene of them where they were like in a coroner's office?
Yeah,
they were like high as fuck.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, obviously a handful of classic scenes from the franchise, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. What is your opinion on Bad Boys and your background?
It's a good sequel, or it's a good series.
Yeah,
and I think it's about time, man. We always say that movie makers are going to the graveyard and digging up corpses of 20, 30-year-old dead bodies and stuff, and just bringing them back to life. But it was a matter of time before Bad Boys. I don't think it's worn out to the point where people are like, oh, another one. But I think if it's well done, well written, well acted, the whole entourage, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who are fans of kind of the genre were kind of wanting this to make a little bit of return.
Can we get a Rush Hour sequel?
I'm all over that. Sign me up.
Rush Hour 4?
Yeah, I'm all over that. One of my favorite
kind of buddy cop comedies.
Yeah, that's one of the best, probably, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's excellent, and that's coming back. So this is you, Gib.
Yeah, so Brad Pitt pretty much confirmed to a reporter that Netflix is doing a mini-series of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, except they're doing the full unextended cut of it. So they actually did this for Hateful Eight, and I didn't know that. It is like the full version. It's nothing's cut out. So the original Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is 2 hours and 40 minutes, the theatrical release, I mean. Mm-hmm. And then this full unedited final cut is 4 hours and 20 minutes. So they shaved off an hour and a half of the movie.
Okay. And
now you get to watch that as a Netflix miniseries, probably divvied up into 4 episodes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And yeah, like I said, they did it for Hateful Eight, and I had no clue.
Me either.
And that's like the full version of Hateful Eight.
Well, how long was Hateful Eight normally?
I want to say like 3 hours and some change.
Yes, definitely.
Was the theatrical release.
And how much was the extended?
4 and some change, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So I believe that got an extra hour. But yeah, I think the theatrical for Hateful Eight was like right at 3 hours, maybe give or take 10 minutes.
Yeah, let me look that up.
It definitely felt 3 hours, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. It's not in a bad way, but you definitely feel it.
You were worn out, man.
Yeah, 3 hours and 7 minutes.
3 hours 7 minutes. Yep. So yeah, the full version is probably 4 and some change.
How come we didn't hear about that before? How did we not know that?
I don't know. Probably flew under the radar. Probably a busy music week or a busy games week.
Interesting.
So, but that's up. You can watch The Hateful Eight right now on Netflix, the miniseries of the full movie. And then I'm hoping we get Once Upon a Time, probably closer to the end of the year, maybe in January.
How do they divvy it up? Like, what's like the... Do they just find parts that they're like, okay, no, this is where? Or
Probably.
Are they doing the chapters thing?
I have no idea. Like I said, I didn't watch the Hateful Eight one, but I'm assuming they're just going to find a good point to end off at.
Okay.
I don't see how chapters would play positively or negatively in this aspect. You're just kind of giving the transition a title.
Yeah, this is true. Interesting. All right, well, that's kind of a fun little project. Speaking of fun little things that are going on right now, so Ian McDermott and Hayden Christensen have been like lined up to do like all the panels and stuff at all these nerd cons and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Apparently Disney has requested that they no longer fulfill those engagements until the release of the new film, which Ian McDermott, I get, but why Hayden Christensen?
Maybe he makes a return.
That's what I'm saying.
We're probably going to see him, man.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see him. You think people are going to hate him more after 9?
I think he takes a little bit of an unfair beating on that.
He takes a grossly unfair beating, but I think with the rise of the kind of prequel memes and now like the rejuvenation of 1, 2, and 3, people are like, dude, Hayden Christensen, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to 10 years ago, everybody was like, dude, somebody, get this kid.
Kill him, yeah.
It's the unfortunate truth, and the kid, the dude who played young Anakin, I think killed himself, didn't he?
No, he hasn't killed himself.
He's like an alcoholic, right?
Yeah, he's got problems then he blames like Star Wars for that.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see him because he was a kid. I mean, how great do you expect kid actors to be unless they're like a wonderkin, you know?
Well, even that, man. It's like at the end of the day, why are you blaming the actors? They probably did exactly what was
they were told
of them.
Yeah,
because George Lucas ruled with an iron fist.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
definitely. There's that, and let's be real. I mean, like I said, we're talking about Hayden Christensen. People gave him a hard time with that. I mean, like Natalie Portman, who's like an acclaimed actress and every other thing that she's ever done, had some like horrible delivery in that movie, and it wasn't because her being a bad actress. Yeah, she kind of was walked out of that pretty unscathed. If now I think about it, that's a little unfair.
Yeah, that's grossly unfair. You ever see that Tumblr post where it's Natalie Portman wearing the Stop Wars shirt in like the Star Wars font?
Yeah,
and somebody was like, what the fuck does this girl know about fucking Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody replies, it's like she was literally in them.
Yeah, there's that. She's an incredibly intelligent person. She went to Harvard. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like maybe because she had kind of a career beforehand and subsequently, she got out of that pretty unscathed. But I think, So, probably Force Ghost, Hayden Christensen. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, so
I'm sure it's for good reason. I don't think Disney would just pull that for no.
Well, I think the fear is that they're going to leak stuff, say stuff accidentally. So just remove them from the situation, and you don't have a problem.
Sure, that's fair.
All right, so I mean, I'm sure Disney
sink ships, right? Buried in Verona. No, you weren't familiar with that band. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk some gaming. So Nintendo does it again, and wow, man, they just consistently put out all this good stuff. I dropped pretty much the entirety of the Nintendo Direct agenda on here.
Okay.
Just dropped Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that, sometime this week. And it was a 40-minute thing. And I think Nintendo Direct probably did more than Gamescom, probably did more than a massive chunk of E3, and they just went right at it.
Especially E3 this year. This year E3 was kind of
So let's just plow through. I put the highlights on here. Not everything's on here, but first and foremost, Luigi's Mansion is 8 players on one console. So the mode is like Frenzy, where 4 of you play as Luigi's, and the other 4 play as Gooigi's, like ghost versions of them. In an 8-player mode, so that's pretty cool.
So wait, what is it? What is the premise? They
just showed gameplay footage. I didn't analyze it too much. I'm sure there's going to be multiple gameplay modes, but it looks like kind of like a whack-a-mole mode, and you rack up points and stuff, on a 4v4 team and stuff like that.
I'm with that.
So that should be super fun. That should be another great party game, right?
Absolutely. You know me, man. I'm sold on this Luigi's Mansion thing.
October 31st. 31st. Be on the lookout for Luigi's Mansion 3.
Okay.
Banjo-Kazooie was announced for Smash. They're like, hey, Banjo-Kazooie is in, and he is available literally right after this Nintendo Direct.
Do you think... I think Banjo-Kazooie is easily one of the most underrated franchises.
I don't think it's underrated. I think people remember it fondly. I just think the last game, Nuts and Bolts, that Microsoft dropped was terrible. Yeah. And now we're seeing Sakurai bring this back around into a very popular franchise and kind of breathe some fresh air into it.
I like Banjo. Banjo was fun.
Yeah, and I've heard that he's a phenomenal character to play, and I love that whole it was a leak that everybody is like, we're probably going to get Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah. And then they do the Direct, and they're like, oh, he's available directly after this.
Yeah, how do they keep that under wraps?
No idea, man. No idea. But in addition to that, they are so the original Fighters Pass for Smash was 5 characters, and they're still doing that 5 characters. However, they're doing more than 5 characters because Sakurai, the creative director of Super Smash Bros., you know, the brain father behind this thing, said, we're going to do more. 5 characters is not enough DLC, and everybody went ape shit. So we're probably going to get another Fighter's Pass. Probably 10 characters, I think, is fair.
You got any speculation on who the remaining characters will be?
Well, we got Terry from... shit. It's another fighting game that I can't remember right now. I'm so terrible.
Terry.
From
King
SNK.
Yeah,
from SNK. There we go. He's the next character,
right?
And they're currently working on him. We don't have a date on that yet.
People are still like oozing with anticipation about Sub-Zero. Everybody wants Sub-Zero in this game. So
Sub-Zero's not going to happen, man.
I don't know, man.
I don't think
When
Sub-Zero's going to happen.
Ryu is in it.
Yeah, that's fair, though.
Yeah.
But Ryu isn't NRS.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat have very different histories.
This is true.
So in addition to that, we got Super Kirby Clash, which is a free game available for download immediately after the Nintendo Direct. I downloaded it. Super fun. You play on a team of 4 Kirbys. Each of them are differently colored. And each has a different role, or you could play double roles. So there's a heavy hitter, there's a well-balanced guy, there's a magician, and there's like a potion master, and you fight strictly boss monsters. So this thing has massive amounts of health, it deals crazy damage, and you gotta kind of work as a team to pull this thing together and fight it. Super fun. You could play it local 4-player, you could play online 4-player, all that good stuff. It is kind of RPG mixed with action.
Okay.
I think it's well done, man. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I'm still playing it. And enemies are great. The upgrade system's pretty well done. That's kind of all I got to say about it.
You said this was free?
It's free.
Oh, awesome.
It's free. They offer in-game purchases, but if you manage your resources correctly, you won't have to get them. I'm like level 15. I haven't bought anything yet, and I don't think I will at this rate.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's fine. We're getting a Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast remake for the Switch.
Okay.
So Jedi Outcast should be out later this year, and Jedi Academy later on. Also, they're offering full online support for Jedi Outcast, which is going to be fucking awesome.
All right.
In addition to that, we are getting, this one's not actually on here, we're getting Overwatch for the Switch.
Really?
Which is cool. I
time?
think that'll draw in some new players, and I think it'll be fun to play Overwatch on the go.
Says a guy who never played Overwatch.
Yeah, and I'm still not going to touch it. So in addition to that, do you know of this Pokemon debacle?
No, what is this?
So with the new game coming out, Pokemon Sword and Shield in November, Nintendo essentially announced that there's no national Pokédex. And so how this works, I'm going to explain it to Jake because I know you haven't kept up with the Pokemon games.
Definitely not.
So there's like a regional Pokédex with Pokemon that are specific to the region you're in.
Okay.
And then there's a national Pokédex, which means you could catch all the previous Pokemon in addition to that. And so the issue is that the Pokemon Company announced that there is no national dex for this new one. So you can't catch all 900 and some change Pokemon. You can catch a massive amount. They haven't disclosed the number yet, but you can't catch them all is the issue. And that's kind of like the tagline for Pokemon, right?
That's like literally the point.
Which is the issue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it. I don't think it's going to be a massive detriment. Other people have their own opinions. But so what they did on Nintendo Direct was they showed some more Pokemon footage, and they showed one kind of mini game you could play in Pokemon Sword and Shield is making curry, right? That's going to be making curry with different ingredients, and they boost stats, stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Something to do in between. And they boasted that you can make over 100 different kinds of curry. And the collective moan was, why the fuck would you put 100 different kinds of curry and not all the Pokemon? So I thought that was funny, but that was kind of the highlights of Nintendo Direct. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and there's a lot of stuff I want to hop on.
Okay.
But yeah, man, we'll just have to keep cranking it out as the timeline goes on.
That's a little interesting.
Any thoughts on the Direct conference?
I mean, they've been doing a great job with these of the last couple of, conferences that they've done, the big ones. Which I think we mentioned it when E3 happened, that I think they probably had the best presentation.
Easily.
Yeah, out of the E3 this year. And it's kind of awesome. I'm glad that they're kind of making a push to kind of be the face of these things.
It's nice to see, because we talk about how the Switch wasn't exactly the console to have 2 years ago when it dropped.
Yeah.
But now we're starting to see all these titles and ports and everybody kind of putting their stock back into the Switch.
Okay.
And we're seeing this push, especially with those Star Wars games, especially with Overwatch. Like, if you have Overwatch on your system, you're pretty much set. You're in no trouble, you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice to see everybody kind of reconnecting and being like, let's start cranking out.
When's like the last time, actually, I think I kind of know the answer, but when's the last time that you recall Nintendo having such great third-party support? I feel like it's been a while.
Third-party support? I'd have to think about that, man. My last Nintendo console before this one was the original Nintendo DS, probably, I don't know, like 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
Close to.
Well, I feel like that was the problem with a lot of the previous generations consoles is that they sure all the in-house games are absolutely fantastic because of course they are, but the third-party support wasn't there, which is why I feel like the casual gamer always kind of glossed over it, so to speak. You know,
absolutely.
Unless you're a Nintendo homer, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But I
mean, now you can get Overwatch. Now you can get Mortal Kombat 11 for the Switch. You can do all this stuff on the Switch.
Yeah.
And granted, it has its limitations, but if you're on the go, it's not a bad option at all. Like I said, I bring my Switch to work with me and I play on my lunch, man.
Yeah.
It's great to just be able to knock out an hour of solid gameplay of whatever I'm playing that week.
Yep. That is pretty cool. I like that. All right, so you ready to move on?
Oh, yeah.
So how familiar were you with Plants vs. Zombies?
I know it pretty well.
Okay. So you know the mobile game probably?
Yeah, of course.
Pretty well. I'm sure most people do. For those who may not be in the know, they released a gem a couple years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. It was called Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. All right. It was a game that came out on the consoles, and it was a first-person shooter or third-person shooter set in the universe of Plants vs. Zombies. Okay. Now, on paper, it sounds like a horrible idea, but in execution, it was actually a lot of fun. I did play this. I played it pretty extensively. I enjoyed it quite a bit. My little pea shooter was upgraded, and it's like a class-based shooter where some people heal, some people like the sunflower heals, and
Very cool.
Yeah. So, basically what has happened is that they have announced a sequel to that game, Plants vs. Zombie Battle for Neighborville. And I'm looking forward to this, believe it or not.
What platform is it dropping on? Mobile?
I think this is on console. This is on console as well. I saw for sure PC and Xbox. Don't know quite yet about the PlayStation 4. Let me look that up real quick. But like I said, I think this was easily one of the sleeper games a couple of years ago because it was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to this, probably a little bit more than most people probably should. But I think it's good stuff, and I think it's gonna be fun. And it looks like they took kind of the cosmetic stuff and ran with it. Okay, what I'm seeing right now, Xbox for sure. It looks like just Xbox and PC, so it looks like Microsoft got the
exclusivity,
got the exclusive on this one. So good on you, Xbox bastards. But it's not going.
Hey, well, you have a PC, and I'm sure it can handle that, no problem.
Well, we'll see. I guess maybe I'll have to take a look at that. It's at least on console, it's retailing for $40, so not a full price game, which is probably for the best. But yeah, it's a great little title, and if you ever get a chance to play the previous one, if you catch it low on Steam or something like that, I would recommend picking it up because it's a nice little fun game.
Very cool.
Yeah, and yeah, it's good stuff.
So let's move on to music news and reviews. First and foremost, we got 2 album reviews this week.
Okay.
You said you got a pretty hot take, and the first album we're going to talk about is Wage War's Pressure, album that dropped last week. We're a little bit late to the party, but we did have a stacked agenda last week, so let's rock and roll. What do you think? All
right, so I give this a listen, and because I tried to get to it last week. I think I mentioned that, you mentioned that, but like you said, stacked agenda. So I give this a listen, and I plowed through. All right, and I will say some of the songs on the album are very uninteresting. Okay,
very Wage War.
Yeah, and not necessarily in a bad way, but yeah, it's very run of the mill for them.
Very formulaic.
Yes, on their end. However, I found myself, and I think this is going to be a little bit of the thing that I think is the hot take. I found myself enjoying the songs more that were outside of the heavier genre. Like a lot of those, I think I wrote a couple of them down. I think the song called "Hurt" was very interesting to me. Me Against Myself, I think easily is the best song they've ever written, period. From any of the albums that they have established. I found myself, the songs that are heavy and have the breakdowns and all that good stuff, I found myself kind of tuning it out. But the stuff that caught my interest was the stuff that was a little bit different. All right. So I think they should go with this route. Honestly, I think they should move forward with kind of doing the back and forth dual singing, because I know both of them participate in the clean vocals
very
now.
Heavily. Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at that. I looked that up because I even messaged you in the middle of the week. I'm like, it doesn't even sound like the same guy.
They've been a band for, believe it or not, 8 years or 9 years now. It'll be 10 years.
That's kind of crazy.
Next year.
That's kind of crazy.
Because they blew up, 2014, 2015 when that album came out? Blueprints, what was it?
No, the one before. No, you're right. No, you're right.
Blueprints, and then it was Dead Weight was the next one.
Yeah. So I will say this. I added on to my notes. Some of the things are too clean production-wise. It's very computerized. You could tell. And I know that's kind of just a product of the time, but I'm gonna take it out on them. But yeah, so there's that. And another thing that I think might be kind of a shocking take. I do think that this vocal combination is one of the most underrated and dynamic.
It's very interesting.
Out of any of the...
They have definitely very good chemistry within that band.
Yeah, even from the singing voices, clean screams, like I think vocally one of the more dynamic groups that exist out there. I just wish they would kind of push their boundaries a little bit. Yeah, push their boundaries a little bit, bounce back and forth a little bit more, because you could definitely tell, okay, here comes singing part and go, and then it's there. You know what I mean? I think they should explore a little bit, be a little bit different.
Fun fact: Seth from Wage War still has. Well, I don't know if he still has it, but he pocketed my silver Sharpie that I brought to the bottom lounge with me, and I never got it back.
Okay.
Luckily, I bought a 2-pack. Anyway, so you kind of summarized my thoughts of it. The heavier songs aren't bad. It's very Wage War-ish, and when they came around, we were like, yeah, man, Wage War. But that soon became this kind of thing where they're doing generic metalcore, and there's nothing wrong with doing generic metalcore. It's just you don't stand out amongst the greats like the Architects, August Burns Red, Pre-Friends, Bring Me the Horizon, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And when the last album came out, Dead Weight, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I don't love it, and I don't think it even cracked my top 5 when it came out, which is a big kind of thing. There's only so many ways you can do this metalcore sound with everybody who's listened to probably every metalcore drop in the past 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I think this album, Pressure, is probably the most identifiable of the Wage War albums, and I think they lean very heavily into the most personality they've had since they blew up, honestly. And I love the kind of softer, quote-unquote, songs. They're not really soft, man. They're just taking it a different direction.
Yeah.
And I wish they played to that more.
Yeah.
Maybe, because what did you say the ratio was? Like 30-70 on...
sounds about right.
30-70. If they did a 50-50 split, man, I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I feel like now... Because if it feels like that the split down the middle, then I can say, well, they were trying this. With the 70-30 split, I feel like, well, they don't really know.
They dip their toes.
Yeah, they're lacking identity. Like, they're not exactly sure what they want to do.
I think they're in this kind of weird space where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, where they've, fans of Wage War have come to expect the heavy, like The River, Young Blood, stuff like that. Like that style of Wage War where it's heavy in your face, drop downs, where it's this kind of brutal bassy production in it. But I don't know, man. I think it's a really good transition, and I think if they lean into that and they take full advantage of, because Brighton's voice is fucking great, man. I think he has a phenomenal cleans, and I think the screaming kind of works with those cleaner songs too, man. If they play into that more in the next album, I think that we're gonna see a very interesting side of Wage War that I'd love to see.
Yeah, I think the songs that are highlights, I think I could easily see on like a radio, like a rock radio station.
That's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing.
We always mention that, but it's not a bad thing inherently.
It's not a bad thing, and I think if we had a rock radio station, that I think they would start to get play on those things. Well, but previously they would have kind of been ignored. So I'm not mad at them for experimenting on this particular album. Maybe because I was kind of fed up with the formula that they had.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was kind of over it after the second or whatever the last album was. I wasn't really overly impressed either direction. It was just And but this, I'm
give us some more, man. Like I said, this is probably the most personality we've seen
out of them. Yeah,
from Wage War in a very long time, and I'm totally for it. I give this thing like a solid 6.57.
I was leaning 6 as well. Not like I said, nothing over the top that will just kind of blow you away. But the songs that do highlight are the ones that you will want to listen to.
It's simply because the fact that we got Jacob interested in Wage War again is the fact that it's an album worth listening to.
Yeah, I definitely say that, and we'll see moving forward. All right.
Good stuff. So did you listen to this next one?
I have not got to this one yet. No.
Maybe we should postpone it.
Why,
are you going to listen to it, or you just want me to go through it?
I will listen to it. I'll definitely listen to it.
All right, then we'll postpone it for next week, because we're already double late for this album.
Yeah, with that then, I've checked out a new band this week.
Sure. What did you check out?
Have you ever heard of a band called Trash Boat?
Yeah, of course.
I like them.
You like Trash Boat?
Now, they're more of like a rock band.
They're borderline kind of heavier on the punk of pop punk.
Yeah, they're like there you go. That's a great way to describe it. Heavier,
more punk than pop.
Yeah, more punky than pop, but pop punk. And I actually like them quite a bit. So because I came across them on the Kerrang pit thing that they have on
the K-Pit.
Yeah, where they do all the live sets and stuff like that. And I was looking through Jesus Piece, of course, because that's.
Did you see the Vane set?
I have not seen
Those
it.
Those guys go crazy.
I'm getting there with that. I listened to the end set and try to get through Sharptooth again. Couldn't do it. And I stumbled upon these guys. I think they were the next one queued up. I'm like, hey, that's cool. So I went ahead and downloaded their most recent album, which was called Crown Shyness. Now, I'm not going to give a full review, but I'm just going to say, if you're a person like me who vibes more on hardcore sound, but, can appreciate a step different in a different direction every now and then, this is a good little option. It's not like the lightest thing in the world, but hey, it's something different for me. And I know Gabe's a proponent of that. So
by all means.
So yeah, I like this band quite a bit. I will be watching them because I think
they've been around for, I believe, a while now.
Have they?
Yeah, they're not new to the scene. They've been around, and I think you just kind of spotted them on your Periscope.
Yeah. So
in
there's
the undertow, because everybody in the metalcore genre knows about the undertow.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give another two quick. Or actually, I do one actually. Hesitation Wounds. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, of course.
They had a new EP called Chicanery. It's fucking awesome. It's fucking dope.
Awesome.
Now I don't know how much more to say about it. It's just heavy fun stuff. So check out that as well. They're doing a great job. Now with that, I didn't add this on here. Did you listen to Dayseeker's new single?
I did not listen to Dayseeker's new single.
I believe it's called Burial Plot. Let me look that up. Yep, Burial Plot.
Sounds reminiscently close to Every Time I Die's first EP or album.
Sure.
Burial Plot Bidding War, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right, so this is another Dayseeker single, the third one that we've had. And I'm going to say the softest, I think, of everything we've heard so far. And I love it. I love
good copy.
Everything about it.
We got what's the release date on that Dayseeker album?
I know it's coming up, but let me look that up real quick because I'm really bad at my job and I don't podcast very often, which is a lie. But let me look that up real quick. Dayseeker merch. Hold on. Let's do.
He's looking, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm really bad at this. When does it drop? On the 25th of September. So
2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple more weeks to go. And then we'll have probably a full-blown review, and I'm sure that'll be
very cool. You'll do the album review. I'll do my boat review.
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll do the boat review. So yeah, I love it. It's good stuff. And overall, pretty productive week on the music end for me, I must say. I've been kind of listening around to different stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm all over it. So
let's talk. August Burns Red, recording LP number 8. We have no additional information. They're in the studio. I expect a band like that to come with written stuff, practice stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe early next year, April-ish.
Now,
I think that's reasonable.
I'm gonna make a comment about something that I saw real quick because I was watching Pug Rock MBA's videos, and he mentioned how August Burns Red, how they're kind of a constant in the scene.
Sure.
And he said because it has a lot to do with them being unexceptional as musicians, but it, like something along the lines where like they're not like great at any particular thing, but they're like a well-rounded band.
Was this the same video with Black Dahlia Murder?
Black Dahlia Murder. Every Time I Die, I think he kind of put in the same boat as well. And I'm like, what?
Well, I believe the gist of that video was that these musicians aren't doing anything crazy, but they're constantly on that grind, which it makes sense to a T. There's room for definitely debate in there. I think he's just not a fan of like Every Time I Die or August Burns Red, but he's definitely right on these bands are just constantly on it and they're constantly grinding. Like Every Time I Die is constantly on tour, you know that.
No, I know that.
August Burns Red, they're constantly working on something, whether that be another Zelda cover, a Christmas song, or a new album, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think that was the gist of the video. I mean, you know me, I'm not the biggest August Burns Red fan, but I recognize the talent and the workmanship that goes into making their albums, and I think that is to be appreciated. But you know where I ranked King of Sorrow or LP7, whatever the full name of the damn album was.
Shh.
Yeah. Shh. Point in case.
No, shh. Hold on. No, give me a second. Because it's so sad because that was like our album of the year that year too. Released immediately.
Well, it was yours, and I rescinded mine.
You can't rescind it.
I know. But looking back at it, Polaris should have won that.
Hold on. I know this, though. I definitely know it. Rescue and Restore. No, that's not it.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on.
Rescue and Restore is my album of the year every year.
Yeah, right. Shit. Phantom Anthem.
It even rhymes, too. We're terrible fans.
We're really bad.
We're Phantom fans.
I still like the album. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but no, I think the gist of that video was that these bands are constantly grinding, and I think that's important. Granted, he's probably not the biggest fans of those three bands, but I do think Black Dahlia Murder is constantly. He mentioned that they go into the studio prepared with everything, and there's like little to no like time wasted, and I think that's a big thing. Yeah,
but like to say that they're unexceptional, it's like, have you seen Matt grind a drum ever?
No, I'm totally with you on that, man. Have you ever seen? I'm sure you've seen Jordan Buckley shred on that thing because he writes some of the most interesting guitar parts ever.
He does, absolutely, he does. And I'm not even a big fan of. What was the last band? The
Black Dahlia Murder.
I'm not even a big fan of them, but I can admit that they're pretty.
Hey man, they go in and they shred.
I don't get it, man.
So August Burns Red LP8. Like I said, I'm guessing March, April, May-ish. Probably March, April next year.
I imagine around summer.
You think so? You think a little bit later?
Yeah.
We're gonna have an interesting early kind of 6 months next year because we're gonna get Every Time I Die. We're gonna get August Burns Red now.
Devil Wears Prada maybe.
Well, no, Devil Wears Prada comes out November.
Oh, so
November 15th
is
the album drop date.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of other bands that are not confirmed but rumored, like Sirens and Sailors. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We will see. Yeah, right. So next point.
I'm still waiting on I Killed the Prom Queen's fucking new album. That was like 3 years ago.
Okay, I'm still waiting on the Vanna new album, buddy.
Shut up. Well, they broke up.
No shit. That's the joke.
That I know, but I don't know. I Killed the Prom Queen's been MIA. Anyway, so go ahead. This is me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is you.
I put this on here. So, one of the most interesting things that I saw this week. So Bring Me the Horizon's going on tour with Babymetal, but they're going on tour in Japan, which means Babymetal is headlining. So I just think that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
that's why.
Well, I think that there's a massive hardcore scene in Japan, and bands like Graveworm, prime example of it. The metal scene's coming up there. There's not much else to say. It makes sense in context of who's playing. You know what I mean?
Do you know Babymetal opened up for Lady Gaga at one point?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, isn't that a little weird?
I would not. Well, I mean, if they were touring in the UK, I mean, Bring Me the Horizon would have to obviously headline, right?
Absolutely.
You know, it's just the nature of the beast, but good for them, kind of expanding their horizons. Can't wait for that Taylor Swift crossover and that Halsey Bring Me the Horizon tour.
Halsey B.
This next song's called I Used to Make Out with Medusa. Yeah, scare away all the Halsey. Anyway, moving on. Amity Affliction dropped a single the other day called All My Friends Are Dead. So I think there was complaint that the last Amity Affliction album was kind of soft, and well, this song's kind of heavy and in a pretty good way.
You're lying. No, it's not.
No, it's pretty heavy. Like, honest to God, it has blast beats, all that good stuff.
Really?
Yeah. It's not anything crazy, over the top, ground baking.
Bake
a pie in the soil. But it is. I'd say it's definitely heavier than Let the Ocean Take Me by a lot, and that was a really good album. So check it out, man. Maybe they're going back to their roots. It sounds like something that'd be off of Youngbloods, in my opinion. Maybe not production-wise, but definitely like kind of sonically and instrumentally. I think it'd be off Youngbloods.
Interesting.
So check that out, because I know we've been kind of disinterested in Amity Affliction for the past album and a half.
That's a word for it, sure.
But yeah, man, it's just the way of the beast, and maybe they're coming back around. We'll see. Maybe this is just a one-off single. We have no updates on that, but yeah, it's called All My Friends Are Dead by Amity Affliction.
All My Friends Are Dead.
Yeah.
That is such an Amity Affliction song title.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's like right up their alley.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let the Oceans Take Me.
Sure.
Good stuff.
Alrighty, so that's it. That's all we got.
That's our agenda. We plowed through that.
Wow,
we powerhouse through that.
That was fast.
We went through that faster than Undertaker through Mankind off Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, he went through that pretty fast.
17 feet.
He went that
through the announcer's table.
He went through that pretty fast. What's up with all the wrestling references?
I don't know, man. I saw a video of Undertaker, and the next one I watched was that Hell in the Cell match where the creator was essentially we didn't deserve Mankind and Mick Foley. I'm sorry, Mick Foley. He's like, we didn't deserve Mick Foley, and I was like, dude, he's totally right.
Yeah, I mean,
because he was the punching bag at the end of the day.
Well, the thing about that one, and then I'm gonna give you a little bit of a wrestling history thing, but the thing about that is that everybody lauds that one when he gets tossed off the side. Everybody loves that, right? It's like one of the most replayed things of all wrestling history.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's phenomenal. But the underrated, the one that actually hurt more was the second one that he took, when he went through the cage and hit the mat.
Where he had the tooth in his nostril?
That actually is the one that jacked him up. That's the one that fucked him up like real good. I think they had mentioned that when they threw him off to the side, he's like, that wasn't so bad. Like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? But the second one is the one that fucked him, like ruptured his spleen or something like that. Like, fucked him up real good. But yeah, I think that's kind of funny.
Good stuff. I'll find the name of that video eventually. I'll shout that content creator out. He essentially goes through Vince McMahon and his rise to power and all that stuff, and goes through some history of the WWF transitioning into the WWE. Mm-hmm. Oh, the video was called There's Nothing Like Monday Night Raw. That's what it was.
Okay, interesting.
And it covers kind of the history, everything leading up to that, and then the Mick Foley fight with Undertaker.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
So check that out.
Absolutely.
You got anything else to add? You been playing anything recently?
Have I been playing anything?
Yeah.
Just a lot of Siege recently. Bringing that back. A lot of Madden because it's football season. And I get myself locked in. But yeah, a lot of Siege. I'm gonna stay away from ranked for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because that mid-season grind is usually good. You get a couple of ranks, but that end season is when everybody gets sweaty and you'll just get knocked down if you're not paying attention.
Everybody's trying to get whatever.
That gold 4. I'll take gold 4.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Man, I don't like it.
I haven't been ranked since Grimsky. Let that sink in. I just let it sit.
Grimsky?
Yeah, we're working on finding a full stack right now, but.
Okay.
It's harder than it sounds, getting everybody together.
I do. Actually, no, I don't understand that because I've been playing Siege by myself.
Play with Miguel.
Been playing Siege by myself for the last 4 years.
Play with Miguel.
Not going to get into that. Because I played with my buddy Ponce and Dave.
We got into that last
No, but we were just playing casual. And it's funny because Ponce gets continually aggravated with the game because there's some things that he just can't explain to himself. So it's funny because he starts off loud and obnoxious, right? But by the end of the night, you could tell when he starts to get aggravated because all you hear is, it's like, Ponce, you okay? And he doesn't respond. You're like, oh, okay. And then I know it was real bad because I'm like, okay. Ponce's like, okay, I'm going to bed. I'm like, one more. He's like, nope. Then he logged off. I'm like, wow, he was not having
Nope.
He was not having a great day. All right.
Good stuff.
So that is the week. It's one of the shortest podcasts that we've ever done.
In a very long time, actually.
Yeah, quite some time. You think we can stretch it out to 45 minutes? No, definitely not. All right. So other than that was the Second City Kids, podcast. And that was 132. And we'll see you here back next week for 133. We have hit or crossed the 4-year anniversary of this podcast. And it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff all around. Having a good time. But other than that, actually, I'm going to mention this on air. Because there was somebody who commented on the feed, the podcast feed. Mm-hmm. And he says, you guys just dropped the F-bomb for no reason. Try using it for point of emphasis. I'm like, That's some good.
That's a good fucking point.
I'm like that's some good feedback. I'm like, honestly, dude. I'm like, fuck is for me and you. Like,
sure.
Most people say but you and I say fuck, and then that's kind of how it works. But I will take that criticism and feedback, and I will try to apply it to the podcast. Probably not, but we do appreciate the comment. In the meantime,
yeah, good fucking shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But until next time, folks, deuces. Thank you guys for joining us this week on the Second City Kids podcast. You can like us on iTunes, Google, anywhere else podcasts are found. Any comments, questions, or concern, you can email us at secondcitykids@gmail.com. Until next week, folks, deuces.